starting at the very first verse. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt, to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people, that they be almost ready to stone me? And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river. Take it in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah, which means temptation, and Meribah, which means strife or quarrel, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said unto him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hands, that Israel prevailed. And if he let them down his hands, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. And they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were held steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. You may be seated. Amen. When the Lord first gave me this message, I thought that it was about defending pastor and protecting the pastor. But not just the pastor of this church, the pastor of every church. But then he reveals to me that this isn't about a particular position in the church, but about every person in the church. Yet it still isn't just about the church. It's about every person that draws breath. And the reasons are manifold. Because humans, we are extremely complicated. We are made up of electricity and plumbing. Those are our basic systems. Electricity and plumbing. But we're complicated. Because you never want to mix up your electricity with your plumbing. It's shocking, but it's true. We're complicated. And try as we may, you will never find someone who is exactly like you, or me. We all walk differently. We talk differently. We think differently. We all look differently. Even when there are resemblances and there are multiple siblings conceived and birthed at the same time, they're still very different. We are all made differently, even though we're created equally and in God's own image. As a consequence of all our differences in DNA and RNA, we handle situations, accusations, and even salutations differently. If you come to my house and you didn't call first, you will not get it. Some of y'all don't mind dropping it. Don't just drop by my house. Amen. You will see PJ. Amen. And our tempers are different. I react differently to different situations than you act in certain situations. And how you approach me. I go all around and I'm always around other reps from other companies, and don't just walk up to me and ask me a question. Say hello first. You will get the side eye from me. And I know you all say, well, Reverend Jonhson, that ain't, but no, just don't do it. Just say hello. That's all you need to do. I freely admit that I am extremely quirky. I've been called unapproachable, standoffish, conceited, bourgeoisie, or bougie. I'm not bad at bougie, but I'm just bougie, they say. The thing is, there are times and places that people may have encountered me. I may have been in a deep thought. I could have been stressing. There could have been any number of things going on in my mind. Now, having said that, I am guilty of doing the same thing to other people. We all are. We are usually quick to condemn each other for a momentary interaction. But we can be extraordinarily critical of biblical characters. You ever notice that? We sometimes act as if we have it all together. And look at the people in the Bible sometimes as if they are possessed by Satan. We can just talk some sort of bad about people in the Bible. Amen. Our biggest problem in reading the Bible sometimes and judging the characters is that we are reading the Bible. But the characters in the Bible, they were living the Bible. Amen. They were living. They don't have the privilege of knowing or seeing what they've done. We can see that. Just like I don't get to see sometimes what it is that I'm doing, but somebody who's looking at the outside of me can see what's going on. They say, like, you need a hug. Or you need this, or you need that. And it's the same way with the Bible. Now, we're in Exodus, in the second book of the 66 books of the Bible. The Exodus, which is written by Moses, and Moses is one of the main characters. So Exodus is autobiographical. He's not just telling God's story, he's also telling his story. Not only that, but we consider Moses to have written the original Bible, the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Yet we even judge him harshly because he made mistakes and he suffered them by not being able to enter into the promised land. We often judge people by the few mistakes that they have made in their life. They could have done all kinds of things. Cured cancer. They could have cured AIDS. They could have saved kittens from trees. They could have done anything. But the one time they make a mistake, we are on them like white on rice. We don't mind talking about other people and getting all in their business and saying what they did and what they didn't do. They always say, every time you point your finger, how many you got looking back? You got 3 looking back at you. See, Matthew 7:1 says, judge not, lest you be judged. I don't think any messages that any preachers ever preach are about judging and helping congregations to judge biblical characters or each other. Right. 1 Peter 4:11 says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth. That God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ. Romans 14:19 says, let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace, and things wherewith one may edify another. Romans 15:2 says, let every one of us please his neighbor for his good edification. We preach that God might be glorified and his people edified. Glorified is praising and worshiping God, and edifying means to instruct or improve someone morally and intellectually. If we preach and teach God's people and they leave and that don't know any better of the version of the person that they walk into the church, then we've wasted everybody's time. Our purpose is not to evoke emotion, but to promote devotion. We're not supposed to preach for a reaction, but we're supposed to preach for results. This is what Moses is doing in these verses. He's trying to get God's people to trust God completely, but he's also trying to teach them to be a help and not a hindrance, as well as showing them that your day, today, it may not be a great day, but greater days you shall have. As we look at the the text, we find the children of Israel camped at Bethlehem. And they've been in their journey to Canaan for a while, through desert lands. It's hot. The Lord has supplied them with a pillar of cloud by day and to protect them from the sun, but it's still hot. While they're in Bethlehem, they find no oasis, no place to drink. They are athirst, and they start to get an attitude. They are angry with Moses, and they're angry with God, but they begin to fuss with Moses. And they fuss with Moses because Moses is who they see. See, just a few verses earlier in chapter 16, these same people complained of being hungry. They were about a month and a half, give or take, into their journey out of Egypt, when they grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the Lord spoke to Moses on this occasion, and the children of Israel actually saw the glory of God speaking to Moses off in the desert. God supplied them with quail in the evening and manna or bread in the morning. See, having said that, we may look at these people and think that they are ungrateful. We may think that they are forgetful. We may think they are disobedient. We might even think that they are petulant. I'm not saying they aren't, but suppose in chapter 16 they were just hangry. Suppose they were just hangry. I don't know about you, but when I get hungry, my personality changes. It changes dramatically. You might see Reverend Jonhson today, but if I get hungry and really hungry, you might see somebody else and like, who is that person? Now, I might go 3 days and forget to eat and be fine, but there are times when I get hangry. And so studies have shown that people who starve themselves and become malnourished can lose some cognitive function. And they can suffer from brain damage due to a lack of nutrients. Doctors will tell you that at the point at which you start to feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. This can cause low blood volume and hypovolemic shock, and you can get dizzy and get a rapid heart rate and confusion and irritability. Now, I'm not saying that this is what's happening with these refugees, but I'm just saying I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. The Israelites are also tired. They've been walking in circles in the desert for almost 2 months. No MapQuest, no Google Maps, no Waze app. They are frustrated. They have their small kids, their animals. They have no privacy. They intense, and a whole bunch of millions of people around, they have no privacy. They leave it at that. And there's a lot going on with these people. They left their comfort zone. Even in their slavery, they were comfortable. Even though Pharaoh treated them harshly, they were comfortable. Some of us are in bad relationships with people that we cannot stand, or we have to know around. Watch your facial expressions. But we were comfortable because that's what we were used to. When we find ourselves confronted with people who seem argumentative, we mustn't judge them too quickly or too harshly. We have no idea of what's going on in their heads or in their hearts. Which brings me to my first point. And one of my main struggles. First thing, if we want to not be a hindrance, is we have to learn how to watch our tone and our temperance. Tone is an accent or inflection expressive of mood or emotions. If you want to commit to being a help and not a hindrance, we must be careful how we speak to someone who speaks harshly to us. Again, I struggle, I'm striving, but I struggle. Now, Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. I was once told by my mentor, this is when I was back in D.C., and Dr. Horton, I wanted to be an interventional radiologist, and he was my mentor. He was a black interventional radiologist, and he would always say, PJ, just because you think it, don't mean you have to say it. And I was young, I was in my 20s, and I thought I knew everything, and I didn't take any mess. The way you gave it to me is the way you gave it back. But you got it back worse. But I'm striving. See, that when the Israelites quarreled with Moses, he questioned them gently. why chide with me? Wherefore did you tempt the Lord? Now, in my spiritual mind, I'm thinking that Moses responded in that way. But Moses could also cry out to the Lord. When people come at you, it behooves us to just stay cool. Pause and pray. Because sometimes when we don't pause and pray, we're tempted to lay hands on people. And not in a good way. Amen. Words are like toothpaste. Once they come out the tube, you can't put them back in. Personally, I've gotten to a point where I just shut down with that person. It's not healthy, but at least it's not hateful. Amen. We must have some self-restraint in our actions and in our statements. When I was younger, I had a really bad, really quick temper. I was smaller than the smallest girl. I was almost midget-like. And they called all of us, we were the rat patrol. They were like, we were little rats. Our classmates, because we were shorter than everybody. They named us the rat patrol because we were just tired. And I was ready to fight to drop a hat. And sometimes no hat was involved. I just fought. And this is something that I'm not the only person like this, but I've grown. And we all have to grow. Not just physically, but we have to learn how to grow and grow in Christ. Now, I've tried to resist the urge to say what I'm thinking and react physically. It's called growing up. It's best not to let people see how upset they've gotten. Don't give them the satisfaction. But more importantly, if they know that you call yourself a Christian, you may hinder their walk. You can cause people to stumble if you don't choose your words wisely, if you're not temperate. You can help them, but don't hurt them. The second point is tasking. Not everyone who is with you is going to be for you. Amen. The fifth verse of our text says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on there before the people and take with thee of the elders." Now, the NIV says it this way. It says, "The Lord answered Moses, Walk on ahead of the people, take with you some of the elders." Verse 9 says, "And Moses said unto Jonhson, Choose us out men and go fight with Amalek." The NIV says, Moses said to Jonhson, Choose some of men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Don't just ask for help from just anybody. When the assignment requires a special somebody, when we have a special need that has to be met, it requires a special person to do it. People who don't share your zeal, your desire, and your vision will only cause you frustration, irritation, and they will hinder your walk for salvation. You will find yourself using the wrong tone and losing your temper. And 2 Corinthians 6:14 says, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteous with unrighteous?" This scripture isn't just about marital relationships. It's about all relationships, business relationships, friendships, even coming into church. Revelation says, "Satan, I know your seat in the church." So not everybody who's in church is of God. Satan has a seat in the church. Amen. So we have to understand that, and we have to look out for that. So find like-minded people who will put their hand to the plow with you, and they won't look back. The third and final point is trust. Verses 11 through 13. Yes, sir. Trust in God and trust in those with whom He has aligned you. One must have confidence in their confidants. Everyone can't go with you to the next level because they may not be able to have the strength to fight you with the next devil. Amen. Ecclesiastes 4:12 says, "And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And the threefold cord is not easily broken." There will be days while we are on this pilgrim journey, when we are acting under our own strength. Even though we're doing God's work, we may find our abilities to be insufficient. And God God will supply us with a ram in the bush. Every now and then, we all need to be propped up, to be girded up, to be given the strength by somebody else when we're feeling weak. Not just physically weak, but sometimes when we're spiritually weak. People want to think that just because we are in Christ that sometimes we don't have this warring. It's still there. We still fight against spiritual wickedness. Every now and then we need somebody to give us encouragement. Every now and then somebody has to pull our coattails and don't say it. They can see it in your face. And they just look at it and just shake your head. Every now and then we have to be pulled back in, reeled back in, brought back into the ball so that we don't think of somebody else's ball. That's why it's so important for us to surround ourselves with like-spirited people. Some people you have to leave behind because they're not ready. The preparations weren't made. And as far as I know, the preparation precedes the blessing. So if you're prepared and you're working with people who have you prepared, they're going to drag you down. Okay? So the best thing for us to have, and this is what I believe in life. I want to be paired with somebody who's a sailor. I don't need no anchor. I can be bad by myself, but every now and then I need a push. I need somebody to just blow in my sails so I can have some smooth sailing. I don't need anybody casting out ropes and furlongs of anchor, pulling it down. I need somebody who's going to encourage me. Every now and then I look up in the sky and you'll see a flock of geese. You ever seen geese flying? And they fly in V formation. And every now and then whenever you see them flying, you hear them honking. You can see the honking and you say, wow, they're honking. And every now and then you see one of the geese in the back will go to the front and it's all in the flock. You know why the geese honk? The geese are honking because they're encouraging those in front of them. Every now and then we got honking some geese. Every now and then we got honking our pastor. Every now and then we got honking our pastor. Every now and then, you know, I like the Lord. I love the Lord. I wish I could sing like the Lord. I wish I could sing like pastor. But because I can't, I just honk out the Lord. Because I can't do it, so you do it. It's so easy to put people down. I remember when I used to be at George Washington University Medical Center in D.C. and I had to help teach the students from Montgomery College in radiology. And I don't know if I told you all this story. But my temper was so short. And I was in there and we were working with a patient one time and I said something to one of those students and she started crying. I said, what you crying for? And she was bothered by the fact that I saw her crying. And she said, I'm not the only person you made cry. She went down a list of names of people that made cry. I said, but I never said anything. She said, it's not what you say, it's your look. She said, you can just look at me and you make me feel so stupid. And here I was, 25, 26 years old, and you don't know what power that is. Just your facial expression. Just your tone. Just how you speak your words. It's power. We can kill people, and we do kill people every day with our tone. My challenge to each and every one of us today, this is for me. I don't want you to call me reverend because I don't want you revering me. I am still a work in progress. Don't put me on a pedestal. Call me Lewis. Don't call me PJ because PJ reminds me of what I used to be. I could hurt you and not lay a hand on you. And when you're growing up and you're trying to do right, that becomes a hurtful thing because that's not going to come back on. It doesn't have to necessarily come because God can come and catch you down. But sometimes down the road, that person you hurt might be the person who's helping you. What you sow, you shall